Let me ask you something. Have you ever done everything right for a woman, been the nice guy, the dependable one, the provider, yet somehow she still drifted away? You're not alone. And the truth might shock you. You probably clicked on this video because the thumbnail caught your eye. But trust me, don't scroll away just yet. Because by the time we hit the 60-second mark, your entire understanding of love and how women truly fall will be flipped upside down. What if I told you that everything you think you know about love is wrong? You've been led to believe that women fall for the nicest guy, the wealthiest guy, or the best looking guy. But here's the truth that most people will never tell you. Women don't fall in love with men. At least not in the way you've always imagined. They don't fall for your face, your bank account, or even your charming personality. They fall for something much deeper, something primal, something psychological. And if you don't understand this hidden layer of attraction, love will always feel like a game you can't seem to win, like a puzzle with one missing piece. But if you stick with me until the end of this video, not only will you finally understand how women think, you'll learn how to make them feel something so intense, so unforgettable, they'll never look at you the same way again. Oh, before we dive into the real psychology, I've got something just for you. A free ebook called The Female Mind Control Handbook. It uncovers the secrets of emotional influence and how to trigger deep desire in any woman. Link is in the description and pinned comment below. Grab it now before it disappears. Now let's get into it. Sign 1. Women don't love you, they love how you make them feel. Here's the secret 99% of men never understand. Women don't actually fall for you. Not your face, not your money, not even your amazing personality. They fall in love with how they feel when they're around you. That's right, love to a woman isn't some logical decision built on facts and checklists. It's an emotional ride, a storm, a rush that sweeps her off her feet and leaves her breathless. You could be the best dressed, most successful, objectively perfect guy in the room, but if you don't spark something inside her, she'll forget you faster than yesterday's Instagram reel. Psychologists call this phenomenon emotional imprinting. The lasting emotional impression you make on someone. It's why a woman can meet two guys on the same day, one who says all the right things but bores her, and another who teases her, surprises her, and makes her laugh so hard she forgets the world. Guess which one she's thinking about when she's lying in bed that night? It doesn't seem fair, right? You might be the better choice, the loyal one, the safe guy, but she'll always be drawn to the man who makes her feel something real, something alive. And this is where most men fail before they even realize they're playing the wrong game. So now you understand women fall for how you make them feel, not for what you show them. And that's exactly where most men get it wrong. They try to impress her with achievements. They try to win her over with logic, like love is some kind of equation to solve. But the men that women can't stop thinking about, they don't try to convince her, they make her feel. These men create an emotional roller coaster. A thrilling mix of tension, excitement, mystery, and just enough comfort to keep her coming back for more. They don't offer stability right away, they offer a high, a chase, a feeling she can't explain but doesn't want to lose. Ever wondered why women so often go back to their exes, even when they swear they're done? It's not because of who he is. It's because of how he once made her feel. That emotional imprint, it lingers. Sign 2. The more you chase, the less she feels. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever sent a text and then waited and waited for a reply? That slow, creeping anxiety begins to grow. You start wondering, is she pulling away? Is she losing interest? Now, flip the script. Have you ever been on the receiving end of that kind of attention? Someone who always replied instantly? Someone who said yes to everything, who was always available, always eager. How did that make you feel? Here's the thing. Women are wired for anticipation. A man who's always around, always texting, always saying yes, she creates zero tension. And tension is the fuel that makes attraction burn. Here's a harsh truth you need to hear. When a man chases too hard, he kills the very spark that could have made her fall. It's basic psychology. We don't deeply value what we already own. We crave what we might lose. The moment she feels like she has you completely, her brain relaxes. And when her brain relaxes, attraction starts to fade. That's why high-value men never chase. They lead. They give space. They allow her to come to them on her own. And when she does, they don't hand themselves over all at once. They create curiosity. They leave questions hanging in the air. Because the moment she stops wondering about you, she starts forgetting you. Sign 3. Women don't want a nice guy. They want an unshakable man. Now let's talk about one of the biggest myths out there. The so-called nice guy. You've heard it before. I just want a nice guy. But let's be real. What she really wants is a man who's kind, but not weak. This is where so many guys mess up. They think being nice means being passive. They think it means agreeing with everything, avoiding conflict, always bending to her wishes. But here's a question for you. Would you respect someone who never challenged you? Would you trust a leader who never stood firm? Of course not. And women? They're no different. They don't want a doormat, they want a rock. Not just a guy who listens, but a man who can stand tall when it matters. Not someone who gives in to every demand, but someone who leads with calm confidence. Because deep down, women are drawn to strength, not just the physical kind, but the kind that shows in how you carry yourself. Unshakable, grounded, certain. That's the kind of man she can't ignore. So, we've just uncovered a critical truth. Women don't want a man who's simply nice. They want one who's unshakable. But what does that really look like in action? It's not about dominance or arrogance. It's about emotional strength. A woman is magnetically drawn to the kind of man who doesn't flinch under pressure. The man who doesn't beg for her approval, who doesn't collapse the moment he's questioned. She's attracted to the man who, if needed, can walk away even from her with his head held high. And that's exactly why women are often addicted to stoic men. A man who doesn't react emotionally to every situation. A man who stays calm when the world is spinning out of control. Because here's a little secret. She will test him. Not out of cruelty, but to see what he's made of. And when that test comes, if he folds like wet paper, it's over. But if he stands talon bothered, grounded, that's when her respect deepens and attraction intensifies. She doesn't need another friend. She doesn't need a therapist. She needs a man who can hold steady when everything else is shaking. Sign 4. Love is a game of perception, not reality. Let's now talk about one of the biggest illusions in love. Most people believe we fall for each other based on reality. Who you are, what you do, how you treat someone. But the truth? That's not what she's falling for. She's falling in love with the story she's created about you in her mind. Psychologists call this cognitive projection. It's the natural tendency for people to project their own emotions, fears, desires, and fantasies onto others. So when a woman meets you, she's not just seeing you. She's seeing a version of you shaped by her past experiences, her insecurities, her unmet needs, and the dreams she secretly holds inside. That's why a woman can go from being deeply in love with you to feeling nothing at all almost overnight. It's not that you changed, it's that her perception of you did. And perception is everything. Think about it. Have you ever heard a woman talk about a guy she's obsessed with? She'll say things like, "He's just so mysterious. He understands me in a way no one else does. I can't stop thinking about him. Now put that same guy in a different situation. He becomes too available, too predictable. He starts trying too hard to please. And suddenly, she says, he's kind of boring. I don't know. I feel like I've outgrown him. Something just feels off. The man didn't change. But the frame did. Because a woman's emotions don't respond to logic. They respond to the story, the narrative playing in her head. And here's where most men go wrong. They leave that narrative to chance. They don't guide the perception. They don't shape how she experiences them. So, we've explored how perception shapes attraction, right? But here's the next critical truth. How you control that perception is everything. You see, when you let her emotions dictate everything, when you fail to shape how she perceives you, you've already lost. Because the moment she mentally places you in the safe or predictable category, it's over. So how do you avoid this? The answer is simple. You become the source of emotional contrast. Unpredictability breeds fascination. When she always knows exactly what you'll do next, she stops wondering about you. And when she stops wondering, she stops feeling. Think about it when the mystery fades. So does the emotional pull. But when you give her those moments of deep connection and moments where she's unsure of what you're thinking now, that's when she can't stop coming back for more. Scarcity creates value. If you're always available, your presence starts to lose weight. But when she has to earn your time, now she values it more. Because here's the truth. Women don't stay with the most logical choice. They stay with the choice that keeps their mind engaged, their emotions invested. And that's how you shape how she perceives you. And ultimately, how she loves you. Sign 5. If she feels safe, she'll never leave. After everything we've discussed, the emotional highs, the mystery, the perception, there's one final truth that overrides all of it. At her core, a woman doesn't stay because of how much she loves you. She stays because she feels safe. Now, I'm not just talking about physical safety that's a given. I'm talking about emotional safety. The deep, subconscious certainty that when she's with you, she's protected. Protected from the chaos of the outside world. Protected from her own emotional whirlwind. Think about it this way. Women's emotions are naturally more fluid than men's. One day they're passionate, obsessed, the next they're distant, unsure. This isn't manipulation, it's biology. Their brains process emotions differently, which means their feelings are always in motion. In a world where her emotions are constantly shifting, the one thing she craves more than anything is a man who is unshakable. And this, right here, is the true power of Stoicism. Most men think being emotionally strong means being distant, cold, or emotionless. But that's not it. The strongest men aren't cold, they're consistent. A woman feels safe when she knows you won't break under pressure. When you don't lash out when things go wrong. When you don't let her emotions dictate yours. When she knows that no matter the storm, you stay calm and steady. So, as we've discussed, emotional strength is the foundation. But let's dive deeper into why this matters even more. Think about the most attractive men in history, the ones women wrote love letters to, the ones they chased for years, the ones they couldn't ever get over. What made these men stand out? It wasn't just their physical strength or wealth. It was their presence. A deep, calm, steady energy that made women feel like nothing could ever shake them. That's the kind of man women stay loyal to. The man who, even when she's having one of her worst days, still carries himself with grace and control. But here's where most men mess up. When a woman gets emotional, they either try to fix her emotions, making her feel like she's not being her door. They get emotional themselves, making her feel like she has to manage your feelings instead of her own. And let me tell you, both of these kill attraction. The right move: stay calm, stay present, stay firm. When a woman tests you, throws a tantrum, or gets irrational, the worst thing you can do is panic. The best thing you can do is hold your ground and remain relaxed. This doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you show her through your actions that no matter what storm she's going through, you are the one constant she can rely on. And when a woman realizes this, she won't just love you. She won't just desire you. She'll never want to leave you, because at the end of the day, the women who stay, the ones who never lose interest, never stray, never stop being in love, are the ones who have found a man who makes them feel safe in a way no other man can.